Good evening. You're watching Clash. I'm Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan and this is my colleague and co-anchor Athar Khan. The question that we're debating at the moment, has the government actually managed to clear the air about the Rafale deal? Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has broken her silence, but the questions that have been raised by opposition parties continue to remain.
Nirmala Sitharaman, the Defence Minister, has laid the matter to rest. She has said that the Congress party, not used to making deals without middlemen and dalals, cannot digest the fact that the NDA government actually got a deal that benefits the country. More arguments based on fact during the course of tonight's clash. We'll start off, however, Madhav, with the first question of the night.
And this is the question that we're asking at the moment. Is secrecy over Rafale fueling suspicion? This is my submission. And it seems at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, that the government is not disclosing the price of the entire Rafale deal because clearly there is something to hide. There is something that is not above board that the government does not want should come into the public discourse or the public eye. And that's why the government is being so secretive. Because what is the opposition really asking for? The opposition is asking for the fact that the prices have been published by both Reliance as well as Dassault. Why doesn't the government not come out and confirm those very prices that have been put forth already in the public domain? Details of features, details of functions, details of security implications are not being asked for by the opposition party. So what really prevents the government from coming out in the public domain and actually putting this out, telling the parliament or telling really the citizens what this deal really cost?
Did they cancel the contract with HAL and then give it to an Indian company, a private businessman who has no experience in defense production?
Here's my counter based on facts. The Rafale deal is an intergovernmental deal, not a deal between two private enterprises. It is very, very clear that Indian government cannot violate the secrecy agreement and put security at risk. Nirmala Sitharaman has put it very beautifully, and I'm going to repeat her words right now. The India-specific additions are part of the secrecy clause. A matter of security automatically becomes a matter of secrecy, as well as per Article 10 of the intergovernmental agreement between the government of India and the government of France. Nirmala Sitharaman clears this particular argument as well. The protection of the classified information and material exchange under IGA is governed by the provision of the security agreement. Rahul Gandhi's lie was exposed when the French government, in fact, parroted and repeated the line used by the Indian government. The French government, the French Foreign Office, exposed Rahul Gandhi's wild charges.
Here there is no Bofors, there is no scam. It's an intergovernmental agreement where the governments, two governments are involved. And in that, no commercial enterprise's name gets into the agreement. No commercial enterprise's name is picked up or mentioned by either us or by them.
Joining us tonight, Sudesh Verma on this side, Nishkaran Bhandari on this side as well. On that side, Tasim Poonawala and Ashutosh Mishra. Madhav, you get first shot.
Sudesh, first question and basic question. Already we know Dassault as well as Reliance have put out a figure of about 56,000 crores, which they claim is the cost of this entire deal. Why doesn't the government just come out and confirm that amount?
You see, Madhav, the whole point is your viewers will appreciate it, that when the deal has happened between two governments, what is that you want to dig out? Why do you want the price? You have a guess. The moment you declare the price, then you are declaring the various assets which India has got built onto this aircraft, which is going to be the basis of Indian Air Force. You know that Indian Air Force, because of their lethargy, they did not take a decision. From 42 squadron, it has come to 31. And we have just taken 2 squadrons, 18 into 2, of the self to meet the operational requirement of the Indian Air Force. So you must understand, there are many issues. The 14 items everybody talks about have been India-specific items built into it. And any defense deal, whole across the world, when it happens in two governments, you must know that it is not just off the shelf commercial deal.
Okay.
It is linked to diplomacy, it is linked to defense.
Let me go across to Tehseen Poonawalla straight away. I forget the fact that basic price has already been disclosed. Why can't Rahul Gandhi, when he makes these wild charges, get his figures right? In one public meeting, he says 520 crore to 1600 crore. Then he says 540 crore to 1700 crore. I have 4 instances here, and I can read them out if you want, where he is using different numbers for so-called UPA amount and so-called NDA amount. If he doesn't have the facts, why make wild charges?
Because when you speak about numbers, you speak in the dollar term variation. But let's come to the facts.
Let me
interrupt, please. Let me make my points.
Yeah.
Sudesh ji has misled your viewers with great humility. The IG agreement that Sudesh ji talks about expired on Jan 2018. While the French government is right tweeting about it that there was an agreement, that agreement expired in Jan 2018. Therefore, when Rahul Gandhi said so in Parliament, it came true. Hence, the privilege motion against Rahul Gandhi still now has not stuck, is still in process. Point number 2, let's put this very categorically, that the price of Dassault, as Madhav put it rightly, has been told to the shareholders of Dassault. If the shareholders of Dassault know the price of the plane, why can't Indian citizens know? This is by the Act of Parliament that the price of Dassault should be known to Parliament, to the PAC committee, and there goes to CAG for audit. There is no deal, no matter what lies is fed to your viewers, that the Parliament does not know about, or PAC or CAG does not go about. Is the Prime Minister, Honourable Prime Minister, breaking and violating the laws of this country by saying that Parliament will not know how much is the price got for? Nobody wants to know the secrets. We only want to know the basic price with everything all included.
Your time is up. Ishkaran, direct question to you. At the end of the day, as he said, if the shareholders of Dassault know about the price and it has come out in the public domain, what really, of course, is the difference between the government coming out and confirming it? Because a breakup is not being asked for. Yes. Just the total price is being asked for.
The minute the government gives the total price, the question would arise, how much have you paid per piece? Otherwise, have you overinflated? What all have you taken? The same argument that they are making, a false argument of corruption, could still be made if you get a wholesale price without knowing the price of each product, because then you will not know we paid this to buy this specification. Secondly, it's a government-to-government deal. Please understand one thing. In these countries, the person paying the bribe is also going to jail. France, if a person pays the bribe, he goes to jail there also. US, if a person pays the bribe, he goes to jail also. So are you saying the French government, if any bribe was paid, would go to jail? That they were also indulging in corruption? Corruption is a two-way traffic. It's a government-to-government deal. There is no middleman. There is no two-way traffic. All these corruption times in the Congress time used to happen because there was a middleman who would buy and adjust all this money. Now it's a government-to-government deal. If there is corruption, it has to be on both sides. Why is no French politician saying there is corruption? Why is opposition not saying there is corruption? Because there is no corruption.
Didn't answer my question. I'm going to quote Rahul Gandhi right now. On April 29th at a rally, he says Rafale aircraft would have cost 700 crore rupees during Manmohan Singh government and went up to 1500 crore. That's April 29, 2018. On July the 20th, speaking to another crowd, he says 520 crores shot up to 1600 crores. Then on August 13, he says, and he quotes 526 crore go to 1600 crore. If you don't have the numbers, if you want to levy a charge, at least get your facts right. This proves that Rahul Gandhi is making wild accusations. He doesn't even know the number he wants to accuse the government of.
The point is not that. The point, as Ishkaran said, where is the corruption? I will tell you where there is corruption. HAL is kicked out and a certain person is brought in who has no experience. Now we know where the money is going to come from. So saying that just because it's an intergovernmental deal, there will be no corruption, here's the proof that this is the way to get the money. And there is something rotten in the state of Denmark, as Shakespeare said. Otherwise, why can't the answers that are being given outside? Mr. Parikar had given the figures in Parliament. Mr. Jaishankar had said that the deal is going to be signed. Mr. Subramaniam Swamy in 2015 had said that Dassault will close down if India does not buy Rafale, and he will go to court. What changed between 2015 and 2016 that suddenly Dassault and Rafale became purchasable?
Sudesh wants to take that question.
These do not prove anything, you see, because I told you, the crux of the matter is not the price. The crux of the matter is whether corruption is possible. As he rightly pointed out, that in all the Western world, if you bribe, you are going, the whole government will go. The whole French government will collapse if it can prove that bribe is exchanged. It's not possible at all. That is why the government-to-government deal has happened without tender. Because otherwise, you know that Congress cannot imagine a situation where there will be such a huge defense deal as Athar was saying, and there will be no price paid.
Where
This has happened.
No, but there was a number. But to be fair,
is insinuating. I'll come to the facts about
there have been number of procurements during UPA regime. Would you like to respond to that?
I would like to respond to two things. One, like Madhav rightly said, there have been number of procurements during UPA time. Never was procurement for any secret clause and government to government agreement.
But you put that secret clause in 2008.
Sir, please, let me
No, you put that secret clause in 2008.
Yeah, of course it was put 2008.
Not
Yes, sir. Of course it was put 2008 to 2018 and it expired. Now, please let me put this secret clause was put even with Israel, was put even with Russia. Never was the price hidden from Parliament. That's point number one. Point number two, Ishkaran, to your specific point, paying a bribe even in India is a criminal offence and lands you in jail. And point number three, sir, let me please finish. Let me please let me finish. I never interrupted. Let me please let me finish. Let me give you my best point.
Let him finish, then you can
Please
respond.
let me give you my best point. The fact of the matter is, when you ask them, as Ashutosh ji rightly says, why did the contract go out of HL to a private player? They say, oh, the salt is a private company. No, we have nothing to do with it. When you ask them, private company should give the price. Oh, no, government to government contract. Talk one thing. Is it a government contract, sir, or is it a private contract?
Parliament, so many times the government, the UPA government has come up and said that this deal cannot be.
Never in the PAC. Never in the PAC. I challenge you, sir, to show me PAC.
Let him respond.
PAC में दिखाओ, sir. PAC में सारे हैं. Brahmos गया PAC में. Brahmos is gone. Sukhoi is gone. The missiles procured from Israel is gone. The radar procured from Israel is gone. All of those, sir. I put that in the Supreme Court. I put that in the Supreme Court. You're misleading the people.
One at a time, please. One at a time. One second.
Misleading the people. Misleading the people. You are misleading. All of parliamentary replies, all of those were told it cannot be given.
Except Mr. Antony
everything was given, including BrahMos, including Sukhoi, including the radar and the missiles.
Except Mr. A.K. Antony was asked on Parliament, on the floor of Parliament, he refused and cited the same secrecy clause. Mr. Antony cited the same secrecy clause.
Sir, tell me where it was.
Then Ashutosh. Sudesh.
Who is the Sudesh?
One second. Mr. Verma.
Okay. 2008 by
That's
the
true.
Congress government.
That's true.
So they were in line with the secrecy
That's
clause.
true.
Second point which Tehseen is not answering here is, India, anybody pays bribes the corruption, so is in France.
Yes.
Why is no French politician saying there is corruption? The entire government will
How is
follow
that? How
and
is-
because
how
there
is
is
that?
no corruption in this case.
Because if you are
because
getting
there is no
the
middleman
price,
involved.
why
It's a
will you
direct
pay
government
the
taking the
price?
deal. And
Say
who
that
Dassault
buyer
as a
is
private
at fault.
player gives an offset to is a Dassault's choice. And
If it's
they
a
are giving
private
the offset-
company, how can that
offset is not
private
the same-
company override the Parliament of
offset
India,
or-
sir?
They are not
Are their
overriding.
shareholders more valuable
I
than
gave you
Ishkaran and
contract.
Tehseen?
Whom you sublet the contract to might be your
Because
choice.
the contract
That is
in
your
the
freedom of
because
choice.
it was agreed to given to HL. How can you?
But it raises questions.
Two standards. Either it's a government
There's a departure.
or a private company.
One at a time.
Too much noise. We have to take it one by one.
I gave a contract to Tehseen.
Tehseen.
He says he will supply me this at 1,000 rupees.
Agreed.
I am happy with that price.
Fantastic.
Now, which person does Tehseen sublet certain part is Tehseen's business.
Absolutely. Except Ishkaran cannot claim
That
you
is
giving me a
not my-
contract on behalf of India and I'm taking a contract on behalf of
in the last 7
Sudesh wants to come on this.
One second. Okay, let's get others as well. One moment. Sudesh, isn't it a fact? I'm asking a question to Sudesh on this very same point. Sudesh, isn't it a fact that in the past 70 years, there has never been such a defense contract? Isn't this a huge departure? That's a question that is being asked because we have HL. Why move away from HL to Reliance? That's a simple question.
Please ask your two panelists to listen to me, then I'm ready to listen to them. You see, the whole point is, you know that we have brought new things in defense also, whereby automatic route is there for private players to enter into contract. And here also that happened. You see, the whole point is, this offset clause, actually this government should be given compliment. I don't know why this fact is being ignored, that in the defense deal, every deal 2,000 crore and above, there is a provision for 30% offset. 30% market. We have brought it to 50% offset. What is offset? That if certain dollars is, because foreign exchange is going out, so 50% of that foreign exchange, they are going to come back to India.
Must be used in India.
Not for manufacturing this aircraft.
why are you not doing
Mind it,
transfer
not
of
for
technology?
manufacturing this
Why are you not doing
aircraft.
transfer of technology?
Taseen,
Manmohan
let me
Singh ji
complete.
had
Let me
argued and
complete.
had got
Not for
transfer of
manufacturing
technology.
this aircraft. These are coming off the shelf. For doing various things, other things about aviation that can come through FDI route, that can come to many other routes, and they have selected 72 companies of India,
71,
including Gauze,
71,
including Tata.
71. That
Okay,
is not
Reliance happens to be one.
Okay, one second.
Okay.
One second.
Don't do that.
Jesse, we have to move on. I have one small question.
Okay, just a minute. We'll come back. Second question. So they
no manufacturing, no
Okay. I have to cut you short. Okay, time out. Second question.
You see, now this offset clause.
Second question. I'll take the second question.
Please. This offset clause, if they don't do, there is going to be a penalty clause.
Okay. Second question. One moment. Okay. This is the second question that we're raising this evening. Question number 2. Is this NDA government's Bofors moment? The question that we're asking at this point of time is that remember the hype that had been created by opposition parties throughout the 80s, where they had leveled serious charges against the then Congress government, the then Congress Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, even over Bofors. What has happened over the past several years, over the past several decades? There was NDA-1 government where the BJP itself wasn't part at that point of time. Even they could not find out any proof. The investigation did not lead to any kind of conviction of any of the Congress leaders. But certainly, of course, it created a huge amount of hype, a huge amount of bluster in the political space. And that's why the question we're asking at this point of time is whether the Rafale deal really at some level or the other is the Bofors moment really for the BJP, a big ticket defense deal where in fact even actors, such as Pallavi Joshi, who will just see, actually know about the price, but the citizens of this country officially do not.
एक तो हमें फाइटर प्लेन सस्ते में मिल गए, साथ में ही हमें मिसाइल्स मिल गई जो हम भारत से ही दुश्मन देशों पर दूर तक चला सकते हैं। इसके साथ साथ प्लेन के कई पार्ट्स हमारे अपने देश में बनेंगे और सबसे अहम बात कि इस पूरी डील में भारत ने लगभग 12,500 करोड़ रुपए की बचत की है।
Here's my counter. It's ridiculous and far-fetched to even compare Bofors with Rafale. Rafale is an above-board deal signed between two governments, not between a private enterprise, two private enterprises or a government. It's a deal between the government of India and the government of France. Now, the BJP has managed to sign deals for national interest without the aid of middlemen and dalals. The Congress party has never done that. Bofors, as well as many others before that, at least there were allegations and accusations that middlemen were used, Christian Michel as well as others, only being few of them. My second point is very clear. The deal, again I reiterate, is between two governments, not commercial entities, and the basic price of weaponry has been disclosed. So it would be unfair to say that we don't know any idea of what the planes might cost. Also, one last point very quickly before I submit this. No official figure was ever given for the previous deal that was aborted. The price of 126 aircraft that was quoted nearly a decade ago was never finalized, and no contract was signed or executed. No details of what was included in the pre-aircraft price was quoted in the aborted deal, I beg your pardon. That is not known. So how the comparison?
The Congress party wants to manufacture a scam where none exists. Perhaps because under the Congress party, scams and the Congress party have been synonymous. So many scam after scam after scam through the UPA, right from the Jeep scam of 1948. So they are desperately looking, somehow can we manufacture even in a false way that there is a scam of the Narendra Modi government, which is absolutely clean.
Okay, question to Sudesh Verma. Sudesh, the BJP has officially tweeted that video of Pallavi Joshi. She seems to know about the price, but the government does not. The party knows about it, or how does she know it?
You see, whatever you are saying is all speculation. The moment government comes out with anything, it's not that Congress is interested in knowing the price. You know what the Congress is trying to, because we are getting very close to them on the Augusta Westland deal, and they know about this. This is going to come up. You compared with Bofors. Bofors was a deal involving middleman, who was Kothroji. It had link to Italy. It has a link to, everyone knows what Bofors was, and the case is closed not because the evidence was not found, because the person who was involved is no more there. So our country believes in that, and even if you open Bofors case, everyone knows what happened in Bofors. So let's not compare these two. And in this case,
but 6 years of NDA, you had 6 years to actually convict them or investigate. Why didn't NDA do it?
This is done by Madhav, the Prime Minister of this country, who has not even bothered about his own family members. They are still very poor and trying to make their livelihood. This Prime Minister is not going to compromise on his own image by getting into all these hanky-panky, which is not even possible if you want. Because it's intergovernmental deal.
Okay.
So where is the
quick responses?
Who is going to believe in
Okay, quick response.
For once, your research is pathetic because India has had a number of IGI deals, intergovernment agreements, including Sukhoi, which by the way is now manufactured in India, BrahMos missiles, which by the way India is manufacturing in Russia, and Israeli radars, which by the way is manufactured in India.
So you said the Rafale deal. Don't misquote me. This is not fair. I quoted the aborted Rafale deal. I never mentioned Sukhoi or BrahMos. No BrahMos, no Sukhoi. Aborted Rafale deal. My research is on point, sir.
Let's not get personal. Okay, go ahead.
My research is on point, sir.
Go back on your tape and see you said there's been no intergovernment agreement.
No. On the Rafale aborted deal, Tehseen.
Number 2, on Bofors, sir, may I humbly remind you, it was your government which got a tight whipping from the Delhi High Court, which castigated them on the Bofors investigation, said you have nothing to prove any corruption, you didn't have the guts to go to the Supreme Court, and you have spent 400 crores for 64 alleged scam and lost in 4 international courts, Argentina 2 courts and Malaysia, Indonesia 2 courts. You lost in 4 international courts, Delhi High Court, you didn't have the guts to go to the Supreme Court. I am challenging you, sir.
Everyone in this country knows it.
Jaiye Supreme Court or
everyone in this country knows it. You came with zero loss theory. You proved that the loss was not zero. The loss was huge.
Castigated and fined me.
Okay, one second. Okay, Ashutosh. Yes, okay, Ashutosh wants to come in. Yes.
It never happens.
Why do you say
never happens. You just sung it off.
When you talk of Bofors moment here, Bofors actually here means beginning of fall of Rajiv Gandhi. That was the acronym that was given then. It wasn't to do anything with scam.
Yes.
And that's exactly what is going to happen with the
that is what
government.
Keep on trying.
Because
keep on trying.
They have failed everywhere. HAL, which could have got the contract, and then Mr. Gadkari wouldn't have had to ask.
Where are the jobs?
Where are the jobs?
Exactly.
Then a government sector.
Private company gets.
Let him respond. Okay, one at a time. You bring up one, Ashutosh. Okay, we want to bring in Ishkaran as well.
Private company gets an offset contract. Will there not be jobs in a private company? What argument is there? If HAL gets it, there will be jobs, and if a private company, there will be jobs. Secondly, it is a conscious decision to encourage defense production in India, to encourage technology transfer in India, and you have to bring in private players, and you have to bring it. Second, if there is corruption, please go to a magistrate's court. Go to a magistrate's court. How National Herald, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are summoned in the court as accused. Go to a magistrate's court.
Go to Supreme Court. They know what they have to do.
Why is it not happening?
Swamiji only to go to Supreme Court.
There is nothing which has happened yet.
Okay.
I'm following Swamiji only said he's going to the Supreme Court.
Okay, we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Okay, 10 seconds.
I just want to clarify.
Suresh, 10 seconds. 10 seconds, and then we close.
Okay, one at a time.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
The reason why this deal could not take place under UP was Dassault had refused to go with Hall and certify. And also because it had doubted Hall's capability. That is the fact. That is the fact.
You have submitted in the Honorable Supreme Court. One day before Modi ji comes, the CEO of Dassault, sir, we are very happy to partner with him and co-manufacture.
Okay, gentlemen. We have.
I just want to clarify to Tehseen what I said. One second. Tehseen, I have to clarify what I said. You said go check the tapes. I read this word by word, and this says what was the price of the previous government had negotiated for each Rafale aircraft. I said no official figure was ever given. Price of 126 aircraft was quoted nearly a decade ago, was never finalized, no contract was signed or executed, no details what was included in the pre-aircraft price quoted in the award deal are known.
Before that
is what I quoted. My research was impeccable. Don't say stuff you can't back.
All right. We'll have to leave it. On that note,
they did not do this.
On that note, gentlemen, we have to wrap this episode up. We're completely out of time. Time out, gentlemen. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening on The Clash. From Athar Khan and me, Madhav Das Gopal Krishnan. Watch us tomorrow night as well.